Shores in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
A wonderful welcome to each and everyone as we invite you to be a part of not just the Christmas spirit, but understanding the importance that as good stewards in this society and civic-minded members of a community, we give, and we are not just eternally blessed, but we are grateful that we can. So honored to invite our good friends from CIS once more as we ask you to join us for a fantastic, engaging, and wonderful discussion. So stay tuned.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email talk today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks. I know some of you are thinking, I remember the days when I was in school. For me, that was just yesterday. I mean, can you look and see? Still young at heart. But I'm always grateful when teachers and administrators bring along their students and remind us of the importance of caring, sharing, and being reminded of what we give. So I'm sending it to you, to Keith, and all the fantastic people at CIS. Instilling in the students this notion that we are a corporate community and individual efforts and actions impact everyone, but collectively they can be meaningful, positive, and profound. So Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us today, Mr. Sterling. I'm super grateful to have these two on my side. They are part of our leadership. They have blood, sweat, and tears every day 3. They come during their lunch. They give back to the community, and they're really here to talk about that. So I would love to just introduce Tilly and Jenna from grade 8. They're here to talk about some of the initiatives that we've done for our community, and really a lot of the things that we do are student driven. So it's their voice that I'd really love for you to listen to today.
Miss Matilda, Tilly, as you want me to. Thank you, because even at the very, very earliest of years, if we understand the importance that our actions have an impact and their consequences, and meaningfully we can, what's the words you like to use? Empower, nurture, encourage. But it's not even so much about that relative to our peers, it's about what it's doing for us. That sort of physical feeling that we get, because we know we did the right thing for the right reasons. Whether you're 8 years old or 80, we can contribute. So, as we, Ms. Andy, share between you and Ms. Jenna, share with us. Welcome. Again, all the very best for the Christmas, but even for the year to come. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell us about it. I mean, for some, we have to be encouraged to do. If others, we got to be told, hey, hang on, you're doing a whole lot now. What drives you and motivates you to do the level of community involvement and engagement that you do?
Well, for me personally, I really love people, and I'm a very people person. And my main, in my household, we have a very strong passion for being kind, and I love to give back kindness to the community. As my mom always likes to say, kindness is contagious. I've actually done a couple of speeches at school where I talk about kindness and how we can be kind at school.
Those speeches that you're giving, whether it's to your, class, we used to have two groups we would call, but your own peer group, or even if it's the wider school. Two things. What have you determined from that? How it resonates with the wider school and your students? Those speeches, do they go away going, you know what, I could do this too? Or do they, what's your sense in how they respond to it?
Well, that's the goal always, to try and get the students or like on my peers to go, yeah, that's what I want to do. I try and make it really like trying to connect. With the students more, because I'm a student, so it's easier for me to connect with people.
Yeah.
So I talk about like experiences that I've had that they might connect to, and then it will help them connect. So then they're like, oh, okay.
It's relatable.
I want to be kind.
They can see it in you as not a parent or some other adult. Did I say that loudly? Okay. But sometimes it's that peer-led education, that peer recognizing that I can do this, so can you. And thanks. And that, I think, what is Sandra shared translates into later life. So Jenna, from your perspective, sometimes we do because our friends are doing, sometimes we do because we want to encourage them as well. For you, what is it like, the giving, the sharing, the caring, the lack of sometimes empathy on us as adults, because we're insensitive, unknowingly, inadvertently, but when we see our younger people, the students, giving them themselves with all the demands on their times?
What really drives me is the feeling that it gives you, because when, it takes a village really to do things, and one person can lead to like inspire another person, and then you inspire everybody, and just helping out. I feel many people don't know about like this feeling that you get from like being kind and helping out, but it's like a warm hug basically.
And not just a warm hug because it's hot. If you could, and I've tried to and I'm not sure I'm successful at it, how would you describe that warm feeling? Like you referenced it being a hug, but it is something about it, right? How would you describe that? I mean, if you had to draw us a picture or try to verbalize it, what would that be like?
I feel like in your heart you just know you're doing good, and it's just such like a good feeling, and you in your heart you're like, okay, I'm doing good, I've done my part, and there's so much that like people can do, especially us as young individuals. But just knowing like you've done your part, that just like it makes you feel good inside, and you walk away smiling or something like that.
I used to sort of try to describe it, that warm chocolate molten cake, just fresh from the oven, sufficiently hot enough that you can taste it, but cool enough that it doesn't sort of tease the palate in a way but doesn't burn. Then I realized, no, it's even better than that. It's that piece of cassava cake that is just left a corner. The father has saved for you amongst all the siblings, and you get to share it in the middle of the night when nobody knows. Yeah. All right, when we come back from the break, Ms. Jody, we start back with you. And we look at the example set sometimes by our seniors, whether they're students or members of our community, but sometimes sort of reminded by our very young. When it's a collective effort, we can see the school community and the wider community, the country, and sometimes just the continent. It is, contagious, as Jenna shared. So we can talk some about, give us a perspective from the high school side as well. All right, to our listeners, our students reign, they rule, and someday they're going to show us where they are, because they're doing now. So good friends from CIS, we're going to take a page from their book. Join us after the break.
This holiday season, Subway is serving up something sweet. Introducing the Footlong Cookie. It's ooey gooey and packed with chocolate chip perfection. The ultimate sweet sidekick to your favorite sub, salad, pizza, or catering platter. Whether you're treating yourself or sharing the joy, the Footlong Cookie is the perfect bite of holiday cheer. But don't wait. This limited time delight won't last forever. Visit one of their 7 locations, 4 of which are open 24 hours, and grab your foot-long chocolate chip cookie, because who says dessert can't go the extra mile? Subway, fresh for the holidays.
December is here, but there's still time for that Miami trip before Christmas. Cayman Airways has added several extra flights from Grand Cayman to Miami, perfect for a weekend getaway and to catch that increased duty-free allowance for Cayman residents. But hurry, word is getting round, so those extra seats not going to last long. Book your Miami seats online at CaymanAirways.com or call them on 949-2311. All aboard Cayman Airways with extra flights to Miami before Christmas.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Merry Christmas from Robert Wood Furniture and Interiors to all my friends, family, and clients. I'd like to bring you a holiday special on all our products in store with a very special Christmas discount. Save 25% on everything in the store and receive a discount on special orders. Please shop from December 16th through the 21st and enjoy all of our year-end savings. We are located in the Cayman Center on Orion Roberts Drive or online at robertwoodky.com. or call us on 949-7765. Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year to all friends, family, and clients.
Kirk Freeport's annual $40,000 Christmas sweepstakes is back once again. Simply spend $100 at your favorite Kirk Freeport store to enter to win one of 3 $5,000 cash prizes, one of 5 $1,000 cash prizes, and loads of other great prizes throughout December. And of course, the one you're all waiting for, the Rolex watch prize draw for all entries will be held on January 3rd. All purchases of $100 at any Kirk Freeport store before noon on Christmas Eve qualify for all remaining prize draws. Full details on kirkfreeport.com. Merry Christmas from everyone at Kirk Freeport.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much. And thanks to our students for always taking time out of their schedules. I think as parents, we reflect and respect and recognize that our students in their academics, in their arts, and in their athletics, there's so much on their schedule, but to find time to give back to their school community and the wider community, not because of the service hours, but because it's an example that was set for them and it's in their spirit. So, our students to say, yes, thank you for making that meaningful impact. If I may ask though, Ms. Jody, from that perspective, sometimes in school, we want to guide, to counsel. We don't necessarily want to lead, but we don't want them to go astray. And there's that fine balance between helping them to find their space without giving them too much license and reins that they go off the rails, as it were. From your perspective, you have fantastic students here, without question, independently, individually. It would be difficult for them to go astray if even they've tried. But having people like you and your team here, the success is almost evident. What is it that you could share to us as parents and as teachers for our children and our students that help them to find this passion and this desire that it is so obvious with these fantastic young people with?
I mean, I think as someone's already said here, I think, Jenna, that it takes a village. And I mean, we have a great student population, and we have great families and a great wider community in Cayman. So it really does take a village. And I think leading by example, our staff and our faculty is also involved in these initiatives of giving back. And So I think that just actions do speak louder than words, and I think we're, as teachers and parents, we are always being watched, and it's, you know, just so inspiring to see our young people following in suit.
My mom would always say, I do what I say and I say what I do. You know, the scripture talks about by their fruits ye shall know them. Actions speak louder than words, but sometimes we don't always appreciate it, that as the adult, the parent, the teacher, the coach will tell the child, well, something that translates in their minds, do as I say, not as I do. So those actions have to be modeled. Is that deliberate and conscious, or is for some it's just innate as the adult?
I mean, I think for some it does come more naturally, and I think in the field of education and as educators, we are, you know, aware, and it's a passion to, you know, but we all try and do our best and lead by example, and
lead by example. Something that we should do, but don't always understand that as we do it. Can I, through you, invite our, you know, our seniors, as it were? You know, whether you left the grade and you got that, you know, penultimate year, or whether you're in 12th and you're going, oh, I wonder what I'm going to do next. Who wants to start first?
I can speak first.
Okay.
Sorry. So like for me personally, a group of students and I, we go each week to ARC, Acts of Random Kindness, to mentor some students, part of their merit program. And for me, this is really about, there's no strict schedule for us. We just spend an hour and a half every week, and we talk with the kids. We teach them collaboration skills, and just kind of what Jenna was saying about kindness and how to interact with other parts of our local community. And as the CIS students, we are trying to be role models for these children, these young primary students. And it's fun. It really is. It's just an hour and a half every week, and we build a connection with them.
Yeah. Now, 12th grade?
Yeah.
Right. So in that sort of final year of formal education, given that there is an expectation, both Paul, from parents and teachers, but even within yourself, that you're going to take another step into further education that leads to, you know, career and life fulfillment. For those younger ones, whether they're in 8th grade or younger, whether they're just coming out of kindergarten, what do you say to them? Is it words, or is it modeling in your actions that inspire them to follow in your footpath?
I really think it's actions, because me personally, I've tried my best in high school to put myself out there and be a part of different initiatives, because in the end, it's your actions is what really helps the community. And I think that as a younger student, you can get involved with something from a young age and continue it. When I was growing up, my mom was a great advocate for Hannah's Heroes, which most people are aware of on Island, and that has really transitioned into my life, and I've been able to bring it to my school community and hopefully inspire the younger students as well to be a part of this initiative. So I think if you get involved with something as a young child, you can really like foster that and embrace it as you get older.
And that makes then, perhaps just by the natural evolution, who you are, that it becomes a part of you. One of my sisters would talk about, you know, making your diet and exercise your lifestyle, and by diet she didn't mean some fad, she mean what you would consciously put into your bodies or avoid. So am I hearing you say make that from an early age part of you, your diet, who you are, to shape your ethos?
Completely.
Can we say that louder so that adults can hear that? I'm just, and I want to come back to that if I may in a second. Miss Isabella, right?
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? You know,
I'm great. How are you?
You know, looking in the mirror, I'm saying, my dad will make good children. No, I'm great. Even if I wasn't, I say I would be, because I will be. In our discussion, I think sometimes we see our students engage and go, oh, we're doing a great job as adults. And as parents, we see them and go, look at my child, she's doing such a great job. But sometimes we don't appreciate that what they're doing isn't for some recognition or reward, isn't from some community service or ticking off a box because it's a part of the CV making for that scholarship application or that next thing. What I would find very evident, and I recall, I think Ms. Jenny was here with me previously, right?
Yes.
That passion, that notion is innate. Is that something that we can I use the word, you know, contagious? Is that what we said earlier? It's infectious. Can we catch that, or is it truly innate, and if you don't have it, you don't have it?
I think it could be both. I think some people are born just, you know, volunteering and helping out, but anyone can volunteer, and it's such a rewarding experience. And kind of like how people say a smile is contagious, I think just that act of something so amazing and so rewarding, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human, and we're just one community, so it is, I think, could be contagious.
And I thank Mr. Keith for setting this up repeatedly, because across the entire country we see students from the very, very young ones who come into the studio to talk about some upcoming production or some community initiative, to those who are just about to graduate. If we all do that and make that part of the society's ethos, we have a better society. So in saying that, I wanted to maybe ask through you to help us. You're going to go into your final year at CIS, and then prayerfully life takes you on to even greater and greener pastures. How do you get us the adult, the parent, to support you, so to ensure that you're not only getting from where you need to go, you're getting the steep nutrition, you're getting that balance that we don't seem to have as parents, but at the same time you're getting joy. You're not giving just for signature, you're giving because it's important.
I think a big thing with parents is it's, you have fails and there's mountains and you got to go up and down, but just being there to make sure, not only that your child can get somewhere, but also just to support them, because sometimes it can be hard. I mean, trying to balance social life, school, and volunteering, just being there for them and letting them know it's a good path.
I'm going to ask a question of our students, but first I want to ask it through Miss Jody, if I can. One of my other sisters would say, as a parent, you can't be a lazy parent. And she would explain to us. Thankfully, all my sisters are much older, so we get to learn easier because they just tell me, we just do smart, right? And by that, she says, you have to be actively engaged with your child. You're the adult. You're the responsible parent. You got to make sure they're safe. You got to ensure that you give them license to try, space to explore, but at the same time, you got to tell them yes, you got to tell them no. You're not forcing, but then there's no free reign, free will, and sometimes. So with that, how do we then, and perhaps it's easier because the audience that we have is so remarkable, but there's some students, some young people who want to just, how do I say, push the envelope, which, like me, we push the envelope, but we can't do it and, pop off the cliff and next thing you know, no more envelopes to push.
Right. And I mean, if I had the answer to that, I'd be a parenting expert.
Man,
but, I do think just, setting boundaries, but also letting every child's, be themselves too, and they have strengths, and, just supporting them, like Isabella said, and being there, but letting them make mistakes, and,
The other question I want to ask as we go into the break, then when we come back, we talk about some of your projects, initiatives, expectations, and the like. Would that be fine? But in hearing you say that, I wonder where, in our communities, that if we're giving enough latitude to our younger people, in my mind, right, and to my, thankfully, observation and personal experience, the intellect, the ambition, the aspirations, the kindness, the greatness in our students, we don't seem to appreciate, recognize, nurture, encourage as much as we think we do, we, the adult, the parent, because the guys are remarkable. How do we get us now, as the wider, larger adult community, to see what great things actually lie? Not just say it, but actually embrace it, nurture it, and cherish it, and champion it.
I do think we just need to start looking for it. Oftentimes, we sort of look back to the younger generation and think, oh, in a dismal, maybe what's happening. But you look around, and like you said, around this table, but around the entire, community, there's awesome things happening. And, some of our, you see the Cayman, the Proud billboards show amazing things. Some of our alumni recently have been in the Compass doing really, really cool things. So I think if you're, it's sort of seeing the glass half full and recognizing, because I absolutely agree. I mean, this generation is just doing remarkable things.
You're amazing, man. Thank you. So look beyond what you see. All right, after the break, can we talk more about some of the things that you guys are up to? Maybe some of the things you would be willing to do if, it was possible, if you get whatever it is you need to get. Would that be fine? All right. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
December is here, but there's still time for that Miami trip before Christmas. Cayman Airways has added several extra flights from Grand Cayman to Miami, perfect for a weekend getaway and to catch that increased duty-free allowance for Cayman residents. But hurry, word is getting round, so those extra seats not going last long. Book your Miami seats online at CaymanAirways.com or call them on 949-2311. All aboard Cayman Airways with extra flights to Miami before Christmas.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The holidays, a time for family, togetherness, and cherishing every moment. But it's also a time to reflect on what truly matters. Hi, I'm Rosanna Dixon. This season, give the gift of security and peace of mind with life insurance, critical illness coverage, and final expense plans. You can ensure your loved ones are protected, no matter what tomorrow brings. Call Rosanna Dixon today at 547-0952. Make those important decisions now so your family's future is safe tomorrow. Because this holiday season, protecting what matters most is the greatest gift of all. Call 547-0952 today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and I am so honored to sit there, because sometimes when we see our young people excel, and I think as Majority reminded us, we just need to look for it, and it doesn't take any effort. It's right before us, but for some reason we highlight the negative. We malign so many because it's so much easier. But you guys make community service, not just accessible, but you make it so that we all understand and should embrace it. As we continue our discussion, perhaps, Selena, start with you. Some of the things that are transpiring that inspired you, motivate you, some of the things you want to share that has happened within the school community that the rest of us should appreciate.
Well, I sort of mentioned earlier, but briefly, but our school has been really succeeded in inspiring the students to take initiative on our own. I kind of mentioned, because another student and I, we started the CIS annual event, and the school gave us the go-ahead 2 years ago, and we created this with the help of Miss Andy sitting across from me, who's been this amazing help with us, and we really brought this to now be an annual event, but it was all student-led. It was all student. We made the entire thing happen with the support of our school community and as well as the local community around us.
And that's where I think we build those bridges, and more that we do that, then it becomes the norm, right? Study for you. Sometimes it's great to literally be able to look across the table and be inspired by someone. And wow, the more that we have that, the easier it is, the more natural it becomes, the more impactful and positive it is. For you, what are some of the other things that you're sharing as you wish?
Well, I would really like to share how the the staff members are like really great with supporting people who might be like a little bit different. Like I'm dyslexic, and they've done a great job supporting me all the way since when I found out in kindergarten all the way until now. We have so many unique programs like foundations and learning support that help me read and write better, because everyone can't wear glasses. Like if I put my glasses on Jenna, she wouldn't be able to see. So it's like really equity over equality.
I like that. And that's what it is. You have access, and at the end of the day, it's accommodation. But Ms. Andy, many times we can look back in our own formative years and go, wow, how did we miss that? You know, what if? Thankfully, we're seeing it now, and it's being embraced, but it's also being championed so that everyone, and I think it still is here, you know, equity is key.
Yes, I feel our learning support team at CIS is absolutely incredible. We meet on every 4 days. We meet every day, but we make an effort to make sure that we talk about every single student, and then we won't miss things like this. And also to just support their passions. Going back to what we talked about earlier, we're starting earlier than middle school. I happen to be a middle school counselor, but in the elementary school, we have initiatives that start right from kindergarten, where they're learning about what ideas we have. What is our Civies Day? So if we're talking about the food bank, we have our EC Center, Early Childhood Center. They're giving cans. They're 2 years old, and they're going in and giving their cans for the food bank. So it's a community event, but it's also like awareness. It's not just here's the can. What is it for? And that's important as well.
I'm inclined to share this and asking about, I don't remember the new latest sort of version that we've termed it, but it used to be IEP, and now there's another terminology, and sometimes we just change things that confuse. But in asking about that, I was in a presentation way back when, and one of the fellows from one of those government agencies that talk about how you negotiate. You try to build rapport. You start with establishing a name, because once we can connect with somebody, it's harder for them. So what you're sharing is, it's not just numbers. These are not just people who are on a roster. These are real people whose lives matter. So in that meetings that you have, how do we translate that into ensuring that the problems, the opportunities, the challenges, all the things that we identify, we then go back, and whether it's an IEP or formalized or not, it's meaningful to that child. Does she need glasses? Does he need a little extra time with, forming his sentences? It's not about getting the A, it's about understanding the application of the subject.
I love that you said that, and it goes back to what Isabella is saying about being human and the heart, and what Jenna was saying about heart. And this is true. This is who we are as educators. We have to look at individual people as human beings, and everyone has a different path and different journey. So, I absolutely agree with you. So, we're IEP, IB, all of the acronyms that we have. We're really just back to the human connections that we have at CIS, and I feel very proud to be part of it.
I love that you used our connection, because Tilly must have said it 1 or 2 times, right? That's what we need to do: connect, build bridges. Isabella, with you. Jump in if you want. I'll ask something else, but jump right in if you want. What would you like to say to your peers, but to us listening? We're going to be into Christmas, and many of us hopefully will bake. Some of us will eat. Looking forward to that. And it's in that spirit of sort of giving, but recognizing that this is just one other chapter in hopefully a very long, fulfilling life. And it starts early and continues, maybe even when we're 120, we still can do it. That's my plan, anyway.
Yeah, I love during Christmas, actually, in Cayman, they do the Pink Ladies Bazaar, and I help Santa as an elf, which is very fun. I get to see lots of people, and it's really nice to see the whole community come together. And everyone, we all really like volunteering, so it's everyone who enjoys the same thing. They come together, and it's just such a rewarding and amazing experience.
And there's so many opportunities. I'm glad you got to be an elf. I applied, but I wasn't tall enough. But I can get high heels next time. And certainly recognizing that, I want to thank you and continue to excel to do. With that in mind, Ms. Selena, as sort of the most senior student here, I didn't say old, okay. What would you say, not just to your peers here, but to the wider society, but your school community in particular? There are many expectations that we have of ourselves, and sometimes they kind of, I don't want to, how do I put it? We put a lot of pressure on ourselves, more than what our parents and teachers, because we see that there's so much that can and should be done in ways in somebody. Give them permission to continue to excel, but also enjoy.
No, completely. So our school, there's so many different things to be a part of, and the curriculum, as much throughout high school, it gets more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And the pressure comes from the teachers want you to succeed, and they're willing to do anything to really help you. But as students, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So I really think that, honestly, having a balance between your academics and whether it's your athletics or your extracurriculars, as far as like music or art or really anything, it's about finding that balance, because that really helps like ground you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, volunteering is the way that we are able to add that balance to our lives.
And thank you for doing that, and thanks for your sharing. So as we wrap it up, first to you, Mr. Lynn and Jenna, any and everything that you would want to say to all and Sunday alike, not just encouraging, but perhaps as Alina shared, you have license. You actually, it's incumbent on the individual to be reminded that you deserve, that needs a break. I like to read. My sort of break from reading is more reading, but it's a different read. So what do you want to share with us? Jenna, of course.
Again, like Alina said, it's about finding that good balance, and we're so fortunate at CIS to have such a big like family community, and there's so much things to do. And I know I've said it before, like my personal thing is the performing arts, and you like signing up for like as many things as you want, you get to be a part of something bigger. Something like bigger than your academics or bigger than your individual classes, and you make bonds, and it's just, again, it's just about finding like your passions and balancing that between your academics and your actual
It's not a disconnect. Right? With that, Jody, the idea is sometimes we see things, and it could be the neighbor across the street. We don't always make that connection. We don't reach out. What I like with CIS over the years is that it's a growing community. We use words like inclusion, but we can see it evident in the application of the student body. How do we access it? What do you want to share with us?
Yeah, I just want to take this time to share our Caymanian Citizen Scholarship, and it's a way to reach out into the community and really encourage high school students to apply to CIS. We have application deadline is February 7th, so they can reach out to admissions, and we have a full scholarship, but we also have partial scholarships, so there can be more than one recipient, so we can reach a broader range. So, if you're a student of strong character and leadership and academic, because the IB program is rigorous, but like Alina said, there's support and it's manageable. We really encourage people, teenagers in the community to apply.
Iron sharpens iron, they say, of floating tide, right? Raise every ship. And Andy, you, if you wish, get the final word.
Oh, thank you. Well, piggybacking on what Jody just said, I think that it would be great to have more Caymanians at our school, because I feel like you are our host country, and we would love to have this opportunity, all these great things that we're doing with our community and building this connection, as I've been saying over and over again, but like just to have other people be inspired as these girls have been with our school. So thank you very much for having us today.
You're most welcome, and thanks, for allowing us to share, and as a wider community to recognize that so much good is happening, being led by our young people. We just need to not just recognize them, but respect their efforts and appreciate that if we help them, more and better will come. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful festive Christmas.
Thanks.
Thank you too.
I am told, and I honestly believe, the fat grams and the calories that are not good, they don't apply to Christmas. Okay? So I'm going to believe that.
Thank you.
All the best. Looking forward to maybe having more conversations in the future. So, to our listeners, then, CIS is a great place. We will invite you to look at the Cayman Scholarship and recognize that together we can partner. So stay tuned. Join us after the break.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. MPs are set to return to Parliament on January 31st, 2025. This after a week of meetings in the House to tackle more than 20 bills, covering things like children's rights, public transport, and financial services. The latest meeting adjourned Monday night. In international headlines, a state judge in Montana has temporarily blocked policies that prevented transgender people from changing the sex designation on their birth certificates and driver's licenses. The district judge issued his order Monday blocking the rule as the case makes its way through the courts. The judge said it was not necessary at this point in the litigation to determine whether transgender Montanans constitute a special class on the basis of their transgender status, but he disagreed with the state's arguments that discrimination on the basis of transgender status is not a discrimination on the basis of sex. Also out of the U.S., the Federal Trade Commission says it will soon require hotels, vacation rental platforms, and live event promoters to disclose any fees up front when they list prices. The FTC said consumers often see advertised prices for hotel rooms, short-term rentals, and tickets to sporting events and concerts, only to be surprised later by so-called junk fees, which include resort fees, cleaning fees, processing fees, and other extra charges. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Kirk Market's 12 Days of Gift Cards is back. Each day, 12 lucky customers will win a $100 Kirk Market gift card just for shopping at Kirk Market. Ho, ho, ho! You heard that right. Every day for 12 days with 12 lucky winners each day. Come in December 11th through the 24th and shop. You could win. And there's no minimum required. It's that easy. It's Kirk Market's 12 Days of Gift Cards. December 11th through the 24th. The countdown to Christmas is on at Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands. Hinton Roxroy Connolly was born in Creek, Cayman-Brac on 9th September 1937. Fondly known as Big H to his family and friends, following a 5-year career at sea, Mr. Hinton returned to Cayman-Brac, taking up work with Brac Power and Light Company for 3 years prior to moving to Grand Cayman, where he commenced employment with Cable and Wireless in March 1966. Big H would eventually move back to Cayman-Brac, working his way up from a linesman to a supervisor throughout the 29 years of employment with Cable and Wireless, eventually retiring in August 1994. Following his retirement, Mr. Hinton continued to do electrical work for the many people of Cayman-Brac. Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
December is here, but there's still time for that Miami trip before Christmas. Cayman Airways has added several extra flights from Grand Cayman to Miami, perfect for a weekend getaway and to catch that increased duty-free allowance for Cayman residents. But hurry, word is getting round, so those extra seats not going to last long. Book your Miami seats online at CaymanAirways.com or call them on 949-2311. All aboard Cayman Airways with extra flights to Miami before Christmas.
Jingle
jingle bell, pick up your feet. Christmas shopping at Le Classique cannot be beat. Quality style, luggage and leather, shoes that make you feel like you're walking on feathers. So step on in before stepping out. Come see what your friends are all talking about. We're here at the Strand, it's the season of cheer. Christmas time is here.
Merry Christmas from Le Classique. Come see us in the Strand, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thank you for joining us. And if for some reason, and thankfully there weren't too many, but if for some reason I wasn't feeling as excited and, I don't know, energized, and just wonderfully blessed to be a part of this fantastic community, having the fine students from CIS join us just then, or with their teachers and counselors and the like, well, I would be. So thanks to all of our students in all of our schools and all of our teachers who continue to inspire and nurture, who counsel, who care, and who, through their actions, are very conscious and deliberate in ensuring that our students excel not only in their academics, their artistic pursuits, their athletic prowess, but just in being fulfilled as young people that lead meaningful lives with a sense of hopeful expectation for what is to come. And I say that from two perspectives. One, this time of year I think is should be a sobering reminder that we have gotten to this space. And so when things are happening that are not pleasant or positive, let's not accept it. Then secondly, and that sort of athleticism that we talk about, on behalf of the Honorable Isaac Rankin and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, wants to invite the public to join them in welcoming our world champion and record holder, Jordan, and his fantastic sister, Jillian. Jordan and Jillian Crooks, they're coming home, so at the Owen Roberts International Airport Arrival Hall, 2:30 to 4 p.m. This afternoon. We'll remind you about that, but let's go straight to our phones and take this next call. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
How are you doing? Good afternoon.
Good to hear from you. How are you today?
I'm doing good. As usual, I caught the tail end of your show there with your guest.
Mm-hmm. Well, better late than never, I hear Sandra sharing it as well, so that must be true.
Yeah. I was pretty excited to hear the lady there speak about the scholarships, and not only full scholarship but a partial scholarship, so that as she explained it, that means it can reach more recipients.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope they're working in tandem with the education department of Cayman. So maybe some of the students that are in our public system may be able to access it if they're marketing it like that.
Okay. But why? I don't want you to lose your train of thought, but I want to quickly interject. Why work with the education department or ministry?
Well, I have heard, I haven't done any research about the school, but I've heard that the school offers, CIS, offers certain curriculums there that are not readily available in our public schools. So, it could be an opportunity for students who meet the criteria for the scholarship to maybe transfer over. So that's what I was thinking about.
No, and the reason I hear you, and I certainly respect that. The idea, CIS has for the last 2 years, the IB curriculum, right, which is many other places globally used, but also the United World College. And I like engaging with you. I like the fact that you give thought to what you want to say, and respectfully, with such humility, when you don't have an answer, you don't know exactly. You have the courage, you have the actual, humility to say, hey, I don't know that. Unlike many people, from the pastor to the politician, even the police officer who wants to bluff, they don't know nothing, they don't know what they're talking about, but they want you because you think you know less. So with you, thank you for that, sharing as you know.
Yes, and the other thought I had was the young lady that spoke last. I was very impressed with what she said, and it goes back to show that this is the mindset that we expect or hope that persons who come to the Cayman Islands to live, work, go to school, visit here, or whatever, can have that same mindset. Because she was very pleasantly expressive with, including making sure that Caymanian students are included, because as she expressed, the Cayman Islands is the host country for the school and so forth. So I want to commend her on that.
Can I
that she expressed that.
Would you engage me? And certainly, I want you to chastise and correct me if my perception or convictions are askew, right?
Right.
And I'm saying this for one simple reason. Many times over the decades, there are certain things that are pertinent and they resonate within me, and I have not been obedient to that sort of still small voice that sometimes is disquieting, right? And it just becomes so loud that it's deafening, even though I'll dismiss it. And sometimes it's about love, the agape love, but for the last couple of years, it's been unity, unification, unity, right? You reference in the word public, and you're talking about the schools, public schools. Mm-hmm. Would you be courageous enough to share with me your perspective on the schools that are, I don't even want to call them public schools because that has almost a negative connotation, but those schools are wholly and solely funded by government, but for some that probably would pay if they should pay, but they don't pay, or whatever it is, doesn't matter how much it is. So those schools that are funded by government, apart from the church schools and the private schools, whether they're for-profit, non-for-profit, doesn't matter. Those public schools, is it your view that they are more Caymanianness, more inclusion, acceptance, and championing of the culture than the private schools? So the public schools, in your mind, are more so than the private schools? Is it equal? Is it different? If so, how? What is your view?
Well, honestly, Dwayne, I don't know the answer to that question, because I don't have the information or the knowledge about, whether, when I say public schools, of course, I mean the schools that are operated and
funded by government,
policed by government.
Yeah.
Yes, the
right.
Actual, elementary, middle.
I'm with you. That's why I emphasize it. Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know enough. I am aware that the government, from people sharing with me, that the government has awarded, I guess you want to call them scholarships, right? To students of special learning capabilities, to go to CIS, for example, or other private schools, in order to assist them with their learning needs, whether that's exceptional learning or learning disabilities, or
right.
that sort of thing, that may not be accommodated in the public schools. So I am aware of that. Now, whether it's inclusive of more Caymanian culture, Caymanian way, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it should be a mandatory thing where all schools across the island are required to be more culturally aware, and to be more culturally inclusive, culturally and heritage. Because it seems like those are two different things around here in today's world.
Seems like it.
But I do think it should be required that it is. And but I really don't know the answer to that question.
No, fair enough. And it's I really appreciate it. And it's not intended to be rhetorical nor inflammatory question, but it's a growing consciousness. And for me, it speaks to unity, and I find it increasingly difficult for our community to accept some of the things that we seem to accepting. And when we point fingers and blame, and we're doing it in an unreasonable, unjustified, but also just completely inaccurate way. So in saying public and private, whether it's education or healthcare, we're sometimes maligning without actually understanding that we have redefined the landscape in a very negative way.
Yeah.
But also, I asked that question of a couple of other people, and I share with you what their perceptions were. Oh, well, it's the government schools, so therefore you'll find more Caymanian children, more Caymanianists, and whichever.
Right.
I'll tell you what I have consciously observed, and deliberately so, in participating in some of the programs, getting invited to assist, recognizing that almost everyone, everything, whether it's a for-profit corporate entity, they want to have good PR, whether it's that individual trying to apply for some award or some scholarship or some opportunity or job or what have you, always want to put the best side forward, right? If you were to be able to look beyond the presentation in the form of the person or the accent or the name of the school, would it surprise you that in many of those private schools, including and in particular CIS, there's more Caymanian-centric approach than there are in some of our government schools, including, and this is the very telling part, some of the accents of the students. They sound more Caymanian in those private schools, and I mean from CIS to prep to Catholic, whether they're doing the KMP, KPMG, being bold, whether they were participating in other things. Interesting, huh?
I think what happened. Well, first I want to say this before I lose this thought. I do believe that people are feeling that there's more divisions in the school system than ever before in Cayman. I feel that they're feeling there's more divisions amongst residents here in terms of the school system and so forth, as opposed to years ago when people were seemingly more eager and interested in integrating in our culture and the Caymanian society. But to answer your question, it may not surprise me, and why it may not surprise me is because, for example, when I moved to the States for school and my kids went into the school system there, they tested a grade level above the level that they were supposed to enter, because the education system here was seeming a little bit more better. So what happened, I saw, was that my children were they were so eager to integrate into the atmosphere there in school that they mimicked the accent even before they acquired it. Because it was, and I think that's natural for children, and I say that because to your question, if I'm understanding it properly, is it wouldn't surprise me simply because the students come here, they enjoy it here, they seemingly enjoy our accents in the way that we speak, and they may mimic that. While our local children are also depending on other cultures too, that they may try to mimic those.
Right.
If I understand what you're saying. And the other thing I want to say, we were talking about the shortages in schools and not enough space for students and so forth. And I had spoken sometime before about charter schools. Of course, that charter schools are a private curriculum type thing. There's no tuition to attend the schools, but they're supported and policed and I guess you can say funded also by government. It's not like a church school or the schools like GIS or Triple C or those other schools. It's a charter school, and it affords students a type of private school, quote unquote, education, sort of not with the private school expenses, And I also think that a lot of Caymanian families take advantage of the benefits of sending their students to private school because there's smaller classroom ratios, the education, curriculum may be a bit more, I want to say advanced maybe, or the atmosphere in the schools is a bit more
right. But as you share that,
healthy.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as you share that, okay, that brings us back to kind of what we were dancing around, right? And you're talking about the need for unity, or that you said the community now is being increasingly divided, right? And as I look, I appreciate you allowing me to almost get in trouble with some people because either I'll misspeak, it'll be misunderstood, or it'll be maligned. But if we look at our government schools, that which is directly funded through the taxes that our governments collect, right? And if in those schools we're finding that there is no space for a Caymanian child, because presumably some other child from somewhere elsewhere who hasn't been here that long comes in and takes that space. Now, whether that is as alleged or not, but if you're finding that even in those government-funded schools, you have less Caymanianness, both in speech, in presentation, and practice, then we're asking ourselves, how are we going to expect to have a community that is not divided if at the very formative years there's no unity, right? So that Cayman-centric approach that, Mr. Loxley speaks to publicly and often, maybe as the students from CIS and their, educators that accompany them, if we can teach our young people that kindness, that goodness, not just the fruits of the Spirit for those who subscribe to the scriptures, but those actually invaluable tools. How do we get that so that there isn't this growing divide? I mean, look at the fighting and the infighting in families, in politics, and all this stuff.
Yes. Dwayne, I believe the human rights says that every child is entitled to an education. And on the other hand, we are a very small island. We are one of the, it was said that we were one of the fastest growing nations, countries, islands in the world a few years ago, or maybe 1 or 2 years ago when the pandemic was in full swing. I read that somewhere online.
Yeah.
And I believe every child that comes here and have the rightful documentation and meet the requirements, that they could be placed in the education system here. But at the same time, on the other token, the priority and allegiance is to Caymanian students. And the public system, by design, I guess you can say, is a system that a country or a nation's school system was designed to accommodate its students, right? And so if we can't manage the education system that our own children has a place in the school, then we have to find other options. I have had parents in West Bay, in Georgetown, in East End, whose students have not been able to get into school for the very same reason that you said. But there have been, because, number one, we've had parents that are living in the areas that have recently acquired permanent residence or have recently acquired status, or they have work permits and they've brought their kids here. This is the one that really opened my eyes. Is they get work permits and they're allowed to have their child on their work permit as a dependent. So now their child is living here, and they cannot afford to send that child to a private school. So they apply to the public school to get permission for their child to attend the public school. Now, I've heard that I had one person on a work permit actually said to me that their child was accepted to the public school on their work permit. They work with a very prominent Caymanian-owned business here, and I realize that is not, I wouldn't even say normal, but it is something that's happened quite a few times, and that strikes the space for the Caymanian child not to have space in school, but they cannot afford. And most Caymanian students cannot afford to go to a private school, even if the government, allocates them a scholarship or contribution to paying the fees, or however you want to describe it. So our primary allegiance and responsibility is making sure that Caymanian students are not deprived of that right to get into the public school, because for me the public schools were designed to accommodate the children
But
of the country.
you know, and what you share and raises a lot of other opportunities for further discussion. But
Yeah.
even if we were to accept and acknowledge, okay, the child is someone who's connected to someone who's legally here, that is one thing. But what about the contention, the allegation that you have a child coming into the jurisdiction with little or no connection in terms of parent otherwise to someone who's here, and coming in fresh or has been here at a private school, but is able to transfer whether at reduced or no fees to the government school, and then that space taken by that child means that a Caymanian child in the primary school or the grade below is now unable to get a space because there is no space. So to your point, yes, we should make Caymanians a priority in Cayman. But the question is, are we?
I don't think so.
Mhm.
Not from what I've heard. I don't have children in school.
No, but not even in
They talk to me
schools.
all the time.
In the country, are we making Caymanians a priority in Cayman?
My honest opinion is no.
Okay.
To be honest with you,
So-
I do not believe so.
All right. So let me, and this is not an attempt to defend CIS, nor is it any way to speak of their successes or their PR. I'm not paid remunerated or any which way. I just love to see our young people achieve great things, and I don't need to know that someone has achieved something to be happy for them. If I
Right.
just hear about it, I didn't realize that that's how I am until someone said, "Wow, that's so good. You just read this thing about somebody achieving something and you excited." I go, "Yeah, because now it's
Right.
possible, right?"
Right.
I
yeah.
thought that was common, only to speak to, more knowledgeable people, whether it's through their professions as psychologists or whatever, and they go, "No, that's abnormal." I go, "Really? That's weird." Because you see, in my household, my parents, my father in particular, somebody did something, and you go, "Wow, that's a great thing that person did," And now it's possible, whether they ran a speed or like Jordan did, swam, like a speeding train, it is just exciting. Then if you know the person, even more so. But why I say that is that at CIS, from seeing the opportunities and understanding many times in our wider community, how increasingly we're allowing a certain sector to say things that are negative to another sector, and when we look and we go, interesting that they're saying that. So I have to ask the question, as was asked of me again just earlier this morning, is it that in order to take the spotlight off of that sector for its negativity, they cast aspersions and try to throw shade on another sector to detract from their own shortcomings, right? And if that is what is happening, why are we loving it? And I like, honestly, when whether it's Miss Patover, the Red Bear Primary, whether it's any other teachers who invest in their children, man, it just makes me have hope that we actually have a decent place and that it's worth fighting for. So like I appreciate it that you bring it to the table and we can have a chat about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I said, it is always good to highlight the positives, and
Mhm.
I thought I would call in to
Thank you.
commend the ladies as they spoke, because it definitely shows that even though
Mhm.
that's one of the
Mhm.
private schools of the island, they're still trying to integrate in the culture and the society and include Caymanians
No.
in that. And quickly I wanted to add, I don't know if you remember Dr. Faulkner.
Yeah.
She had her school down there at
Faulkner Academy,
Latin Tree Bay,
which
yeah.
is now what was the sort of the premise for CIS now, as it was purchased and
Right,
integrated.
that's
Yeah.
right. Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Now that you're saying that, I remember. But
Mhm.
I spent a summer there as a teacher's aide, and let me tell you,
Mhm.
that was a school primarily for students with learning abilities, whether
Right.
exceptional intent. You know what the school was.
I
And,
did, yes. Yeah.
One of her primary mottos was there was no separation or division between who were Caymanians or who are not Caymanians or whose parents, you know.
Exactly.
Her curriculum, her motto
was student-centric.
Everything was just, everybody was the same in her school.
Right.
You know, and I think it should be that way. You know, it can't be 100% because private is private and government is government, and you know, all the
maybe you
pros
just
and
need
cons with-
different leadership and different ethos.
Yes.
But I'll share this with you, and I compliment you and thank you for saying that. I believe, and this is just my belief based on my informed perspective, I'd say yes. There is more of a concerted and actually achieved integration than there is even in some of the government schools. Volunteer, talk to the PTAs, talk to the students, talk to the parents. I'm honored that they have shared, and I think you're seeing that the divide sometimes is on the public side, and the unfortunate, sort of deliberate, conscious maligning is against and towards the private side. And we need to break that. Hey, Ms. Pat, thank you for sharing, okay?
Good doing.
All right, have a good afternoon. Hopefully and prayerfully we'll get a wonderful opportunity to talk to you again. All right, we're going to pause and take a break. Our friends from the Health Services Authority will join us. And words like hematology and oncology and chemotherapy and I don't know, other stuff is going to come up with that discussion. So I better talk to Susan so she can translate and tell me what that stuff means. You want to find out? Well, join us after the break.
Looking for the perfect gift this holiday season? Look no further than Brand Source Home Gallery. From barbecue grills and pizza ovens to wine cellars, beverage centers, under-counter refrigerators, and ice makers, indoor or outdoor, we've got something for everyone on your list. And here's the best part. Enjoy 15% off all these amazing gifts from top brands, guaranteed to fit your budget. Don't wait. Stock is ready for pickup so you can give the gift of wine and dine this holiday season. But hurry. Sale ends December 31st. Visit Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call us at 623-5000.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
A $5,000 award is being offered for the return of a missing dog that goes by the name of Spiky Haggis. Spiky is white cream in color and is a Pomeranian mix. He is a small dog that has a distinctive scar above his left hip. Spiky went missing mid-November in the area of Selkirk Drive and Bimini Drive. Cayman Vets is asking that if you have seen Spiky, a white Pomeranian mixed dog, to take a picture and send it to 525-5838 or call 525-5838 with information that could lead to his return.
The holiday season is approaching, which means the holiday gatherings and a little bit of me time.
Beacon Furniture has the perfect selection of furniture pieces to bring comfort and joy to your home.
Comfortable seating, cozy bedroom furniture, the perfect dining set to fit your guests, mattresses that are just right, and gorgeous home accessories.
Beacon Furniture offers free delivery and setup. Visit us at 386 Shamrock Road, across from the Seafarers Hall in Prospect, or call 943-2500.
Happy holidays from Beacon Furniture.
Ho, ho, ho! Santa here, letting you know that I can't wait to see you all at my grotto at Bayshore Mall. I will be there with my friends from Kirk Freeport from Thursday the 19th December right up until Christmas Eve. Check kirkfreeport.com to see my daily schedule. I will be in my grotto in the afternoon each day, but earlier on Christmas Eve, Santa will have a special gift and sweet treats for every boy and girl, and Christmas music filling the air. Merry Christmas! See you soon at Bayshore Mall. Love, Santa and everyone at Kirk Freeport.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Da-na-na-na. Come on, Susan. Da-na-na-na. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, I was trying to get Susan to see if we could get that on. What does it call it? Yeah, that intro music. Nah, we'll wait till Jordan comes home. So the ministry, sports, inviting you and all of us to the reception hall at the Warren Roberts International Airport to see Jordan and Jillian as they come home. That's this afternoon, 2:30. Well, I know that when we look at our community, we can see what's been happening, and we're always honored that we can have an opportunity to speak to healthcare, and in particular, the wonderful offerings over at the Health Services Authority. So, Dr. Lundy, buenas tardes, señor. ¿Qué tal, amigo?
Muy bien.
Muy bien.
Sí.
Yeah, that's about as much as my Spanish, boy, because my brother says I don't even know enough to get in trouble, and certainly even less not to get out of it. So, but I say that to share that when we look at our community, we can be inspired by the great things that unfold that sadly are not enough being championed. As part of this call earlier reminds us that there's a lot of good things happening here.
Yes.
Our young people are excelling. Our professions, just even in the medical sector. As we talk about oncology and appreciating the importance of care, diagnosis, and treatment, would you, if I may ask, help us to appreciate it as our students are thinking about possible careers, as potential even our students who are studying medicine, that if they're going to come back to Cayman as, Caymanians, that they know there's an opportunity, they can grow in their practice. And if there is the perception or the practice that they're not going to be accommodated, included, accepted, and nurtured, as some would say, whether it's in the legal or financial services sector, or in education, or in sports, whether those perceptions are there, whether they're real, they need to be first acknowledged so they can be addressed. But from the medical perspective?
Well, thank you for having me, and good afternoon, everybody, and happy holidays as
Merry Christmas, as I say, man.
And be safe out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, every country can only be built by its people, and we have to build capacity, right? And so whether the capacity is in the medical field or the legal field or the accounting field, right? The role of the country in itself is to build that capacity so that as time go on, you can take care of any gaps that exist. Right. I certainly believe in that.
And I appreciate what you're sharing, because as I was thinking and preparing for our discussion, it's important, I believe, for a country to have resources available. However, that's defined, right?
But I do believe that country like Cayman Island does have the resources. They are and I'm not talking about financial resources. I'm talking about the people. Right. You see the people that you rub shoulders with, whether it's here or whether it's outside of Cayman, and they are among the top. Right. Okay. So the capacity exists.
Yeah. So we have the resources.
Yes.
Resources need to be identified, accessible, need to be celebrated, complemented, and at times protected. Right? And so for me, the Cayman Islands punches, if we use the box analogy, wave above its weight. But I don't think that it is championed and celebrated enough from two perspectives. Us who are here, whether and however we define through immigration or otherwise, and sadly, not only not celebrated and championed by us, sometimes openly disparaged. We're eating that wonderful, bowl of fish tea that's been lovingly prepared. It's the freshest fish. But we're castigating the chef and the setting and having some disparaging comment about the content. You find that, right? We're cussing our own blessings, and we're almost begrudgingly engaging in it.
Well, I think sometimes, and I see it wherever we go, sometimes we do not appreciate what we have. That happens. But I think just my perspective locally, I believe that there is such a drive and an enthusiasm and a very proud set of people in the Cayman Islands. And, I'm fortunate to be here to celebrate with everybody.
And thank you. And for those who say, well, I thought they were talking about medicine. But this is, in my mind, how it connects, because we have phenomenal resources. We're talking, as you said, building that capacity. And sometimes it's not, again, if there's ever a time when it's evident that the one profession, other than educators, right? The one profession where it's celebrated and it's, desired or acknowledged or actually called for. It's the medical profession. You go into a room and something happens, nobody says, "Is there a talk show host in here?" The first thing is, "Is there a doctor?"
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now the lawyer has that access and put people on level of alertness or defense. But unless the lawyer is also an MD, you don't really want that person if something seems to be happening to somebody else. Is there a doctor in the house? Not just in the movies, right? So with the doctors and doctors like yourselves who are willing to speak freely and champion, it doesn't matter where you work, whether you're retired, whether you're just starting out. There's a respect, but there's a responsibility to your oath to speak. What is it? To speak the truth.
The truth is that, when somebody comes in to see any of us, we don't ask where you're from.
It's the patient.
Who you're for. We don't ask that.
Who you for? Yeah, man.
We don't ask that.
No.
I mean, we want to know what has happened to this person. Because we have to look at each individual, look at them from a perspective of what exactly is happening to them, what may be the cause of it, and how we go about managing it. We don't think about
even the money part, who's paying
whether they have
Yeah.
money or not. And physicians tend to stay away from.
Okay. I want to ask you so that I understand it properly. There is an oath. Is it called a Hippocratic oath?
Hippocratic oath,
Okay.
yes.
What does that mean, and what is it, if it's such a thing? So what is the Hippocratic oath?
So the Hippocratic oath is first, do no harm. Right? And so therefore, we have to bear in mind that ethics, that whatever we do, it must be in a situation in which the person whom we're looking after comes out on the better side.
Yes. And I guess sometimes they say don't ask a question unless you know the answer, but I also believe don't ask a question unless you actually want to know and willing to accept the answer. So is the Hippocratic oath not that you're a hypocrite? Is it different?
No.
It may sound similar, but they're quite
different.
And the reason why I want to emphasize that is that as physicians, when that person comes in, whether it's an emergency, whether it's a complaint that they've ignored for the longest time, or it's something sudden, it could be very simple. It could be terrifying to that individual. Once they present to the physician, he or she is saying, "Hey, let me make sure that this is."
The thing is that, and you name some professions, people see the physicians as the healer, as somebody they trust. And so, you wouldn't imagine things that they come in and they will open up to the physician.
Yeah.
And that is very important to our people, so that they can let you know, and they feel confident knowing that they can be open, which is what we want, and they can trust what is coming out, even if what we're saying is not exactly what they wanted to hear.
But it's what is necessary.
But what is necessary.
So I'm hearing you, Doctor, to share that it has to be two things: the academic prowess, the ability of that person to navigate the profession, to understand and how to apply. But it also has to be a level of integrity, a level of competence and confidentiality, and something in the physician that is perhaps uniquely special, that instills that confidence but also rewards the confidentiality.
Well, I mean, while I would jump to say yes, it's kind of unique to physicians. A physician must have empathy, must have capacity, and to know their capacity, to know what they're able to do from what they're not able to do, be open and honest. I mean, the field of medicine is so rapidly evolving that by the time I leave this interview, something that I was practicing this morning, it may become old, may become dated, right? And so therefore we have to be honest, because sometimes things are released and we don't even know, and patients come and say, "What about this? What about that?" I say, "Listen, I'm not too sure, but let me go and check it."
Yeah.
There's no harm in that.
I like what you shared, because it is that reminder that the technology, the research, the published, peer-reviewed sort of data allows the physician to not just only adapt, but also needs to be able to adopt.
Mhm.
Right? So with that in mind, again, don't care much for TV, but I'm sure it was in a movie somewhere. The God complex, the physician, he knows everything, and I can fix it no matter how bad it is. How real is that? Because you sit across the table from another profession, right? Not one of your colleagues in the medical profession. You speak a language that is unique to the medical profession. Your terminology, the vernacular, the person is smart, but doesn't understand always.
Yes. And if you go to every profession, each profession has their uniqueness, their smartness, brilliant minds, whether it's mathematics or physics or medicine.
Right.
Good. And no one knows everything. No one knows everything. And the importance for us is for us to have that humility to recognize we don't know everything, even within your own profession. As I was saying, things evolve so quickly.
Right.
That you really have to keep on reading, learning, watching, going to seminars to build that capacity. And sometimes by the time you build that capacity, it's already dated.
In preparing for today's discussion, I did two things. One, I don't want to say empathy or being sensitive to, but those are evident. In recognizing that we talk about cancer treatment, and the whole field of being an oncologist, that specialization. Again, very respectfully but guided by you. We need to appreciate that literally this is life and death. And
it is.
The quality of that treatment would dictate that outcome in terms of not just the palliative aspect of it, but how the person feels as if they're being respected, how the family perceives even more so.
Yes. And that is, we at HSA have evolved.
Yes.
And, as I was coming on, I remember when I started coming here, just for short stints, we were on, I think we're on about 2012, 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in a little room that was less than half the size of this.
Uh-huh.
Right? By the time I came back in 16, 17, we had moved from there to, an independent facility, which had a room probably 2/3 the size of this.
Right.
But then over the past few years, we have really just, blushed out, and and not only have we grown in terms of patient numbers, but also the types of conditions we manage, and staff. We have increased our staff. And that then leads to the whole multidisciplinary approach that we take to management. It's not only the specialist physician, so to speak, but for example, we have the nutritionist who plays a very important role. We have the psychologists who play an important role. We have the surgeon, we have the nurses, and together we're able to really address as a team to address our patients. And you mentioned something about when a patient comes. It's not only about giving an injection or giving some pills. It is about how patients feel when they come in. My wife always talk about the experience, right? It's the experience, I think, that is so very important, especially when persons are diagnosed with a cancer. Right. There are some cancers that are curable, right? But when one is diagnosed with a cancer, it gives them that gloom and doom, right? And so it is our job as a team to really make that person feel as comfortable as possible, even in situations where we know that the end might be around the corner. But our job is to make that person as comfortable as possible. And comes a time when we say, listen, it may be that we have a transition from this type of care to another type of care. Because if I give you what is the conventional treatment, it's going to do you more harm than good. And our mantra is to do no harm. But in all of this, part of the harm is also psychological harm.
Yes.
And so guess what we have to do? We have to make sure that patients feel so comfortable, feel at home. Look forward. This morning I saw a patient coming in dressed up like Santa. I mean, the person was coming in to get chemo. But it gave me a feeling that the person was almost happy to be there.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of, interaction, and that's how we like the patients to feel.
And as we're speaking to Dr. Lundy over the HSA, we got, oncology and hematology, and we'll talk about, the services and the chemo center and the like. But the other part of preparing was this idea of hope. We want to offer hope to our young people.
Without doubt, yes.
Right? So that they understand that getting up and going to school, whether they like it or not, it is not only necessary, but it's the building block for a fulfilling, rewarding life. We want to offer hope to the student now who has finished formal education, maybe tertiary education, whatever training, that there is not just employment and entrepreneurship, but there's also an expectation.
And one of the things we do in terms of that is that throughout the HSA, but we do have students who come and they shadow us, right? And so they have a feel for what it is like working in our area. And, we hope that, as they go along and they move on to tertiary institution, that one or two of them may want to come back. And
this is about the capacity that you were talking about.
Talking about capacity building, yes.
But I hope also has to be to your patients where, for whatever reason, whether they ignored it for long, and Mr. Roy Borden always has shared, please don't ignore that niggling little thing. But whether it was, what's the new words? We have turbo cancers. I mean, we hear all kind of things in the media these days. So it seemingly has just sprung up on you, and all of a sudden overnight, boom, it's where, you would think it would have taken years, and it seems to be seconds. But we also want to hope to that person so that it gives them not just comfort, but maybe just a glimmer of hope.
Yes, and that is very important in terms of therapeutics, right? To give that hope. Hope is part of it. But one of the other important thing, it is about how do we, as a country, now make sure that our people live healthy lifestyles, right? Because a lot of the conditions that come around, whether it be hypertension, diabetes, some cancers, they if we modify lifestyles, then we may be able to prevent these. That's one. And then the second aspect is how do we preventing is would be greatest.
Yeah.
But if we can't prevent it for some reason, then how do we do early detection? So the screening of these, and I say screening whether it's for various cancers or even screening for hypertension and diabetes at certain intervals. These would go far way in protecting our people and protecting our nation and protecting productivity.
And I like that you almost bring us full circle when you talked about capacity and that multidisciplinary approach. So from the dietitian, nutritionist to the psychologist, to all the other specialists in the medical field, if we as a society have now adopted healthier lifestyles, some people would say that one of the worst things we can consume is sugar. Someone may say it's something else. But if we don't understand what it is and the reason that we're saying what we're saying, but also apply it to our individual lives. I'll be guided by you. Some of my friends who have had diagnoses, the one thing that they wish they had done, above all, it's not just exercise or eat healthier, but sleep. And I go, wow. And we don't understand the importance of that. And so the other thing I done when we come up is how sleep, restful, peaceful, comforting sleep. Is that true that plays not only in the restorative aspect and your healing, but actually giving you the strength, giving you the ability to recuperate?
Well, remember, that the body is such a thing that we have to take care of it, just like how we do maintenance on our vehicle, right? And I'm pretty certain that sleep is part of the healthy lifestyle. If you don't sleep, then you're gonna take away from it create more stress. Building up various hormones. I don't know exactly how these impact, but they could have some deleterious impact on people. But it's not only sleep, it's sleeping, smoking, alcohol, sugar, salt.
All those things.
Lack of exercise. We have lots of beaches. We should all go around and keep walking the beaches night and day.
Well then, can I put words in your mouth? If, God forbid, we ever go through this national imprisonment that we went through a couple of years ago where beaches become off limit, you'll be one of the first to join me ensuring that we don't suffer that and people get excluded from public spaces and beaches and sunshine. I hold it right. No, because those are the things that help. You talk about the hormones and the effect on the endocrine system, the notion that these things that move through our bodies that we may not understand what they are, but we feel the negative harmful consequences. All of a sudden you're angered at something, and that thing, now you might know it's cortisol, you might know it's not, but I know it's not healthy. Yet the therapists are there.
No, the only thing I would say to that is that the good thing that hindsight is 2020. And we learn by what may have happened before. And I'm pretty certain that if something like that comes back around, there'll be different approaches as to how we address them. I can't predict what those are going to be, but I'm pretty certain there'll be different approaches.
Yeah, and this is sort of in jest what I wanted to get to is that you shared. We learn, we see not just that decisions should be data driven, but we understand that we learn from past experiences. Not unlike the research of yesteryear that today would be considered unethical in today's eyes, but then were absolutely necessary. Not going to defend the grave robbing, not going to defend the practices of maybe the 40s and 50s in some medical and or institutional facilities in order to determine how this thing affected somebody. But that aside, if we now apply good sense and good practice, we can have better outcomes. When we come after the break, could we talk about some of the things where we are and that capacity in this country, what we're offering, and we'll talk about it.
Sure.
All right.
No
Stay
problem.
tuned. Join us right after.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Are you planning a social, an office party, or event over the holiday season? Make the most of your holiday party and leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway Box to Go with the option of a 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. Cater your holiday parties with Subway. Visit subway.ky for menu options. Subway, eat fresh.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
And a quick reminder, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage is inviting the public to join them in welcoming world champion and record holder Jordan Crooks home to Cayman today at 2:30 in the arrival hall of Owen Roberts International Airport. In international headlines, consumers stepped up their spending at retail stores last month, providing a boost to the economy in the early phases of the winter holiday shopping season. Retail prices rose 0.7% in November, that according to the U.S. Commerce Department, a solid increase and higher than October's 0.5% gain. Sales jumped 2.6% at auto dealers, driving much of that gain. Some of the demand likely reflected a need for new cars in parts of the Southeast, slammed by Hurricane Helene in October, as well as healthy incentives provided by car dealers. Big discounts at many retail chains also attracted some consumers. Jamaica's Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett has issued a reminder to visitors to fill out the online version of immigration custom declaration forms in order to allow for a smoother process when they arrive on island. Mr. Bartlett was addressing an appreciation breakfast hosted by the Jamaica Tourist Board for staff at Sangster International Airport this weekend. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
You can now renew your driver's license or motor vehicle license online, and you don't need an ESID number. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Visit www.dvdl.gov.ky.
Kirk Market's 12 Days of Gift Cards is back. Each day, 12 lucky customers will win a $100 Kirk Market gift card just for shopping at Kirk Market. Ho, ho, ho! You heard that right. Every day for 12 days with 12 lucky winners each day. Come in December 11th through the 24th and shop. You could win. And there's no minimum required. It's that easy. It's Kirk Market's 12 Days of Gift Cards. December 11th through the 24th. The countdown to Christmas is on at Kirk Market.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The holidays, a time for family, togetherness, and cherishing every moment. But it's also a time to reflect on what truly matters. Hi, I'm Rosanna Dixon. This season, give the gift of security and peace of mind with life insurance, critical illness coverage, and final expense plans. You can ensure your loved ones are protected, no matter what tomorrow brings. Call Rosanna Dixon today at 547-0952. Make those important decisions now so your family's future is safe tomorrow. Because this holiday season, protecting what matters most is the greatest gift of all. Call 547-0952 today.
Ready to deck your halls in style? This Christmas, Tomlinson Furniture has everything you need to spruce up your home for the holidays. Discover new arrivals in dining and living room sets to bedroom sets, mattresses, accent pieces, and more. Or shop online at tomlinsonfurniture.ky. Enjoy great deals throughout the store with extra savings off the lowest price. Plus, enter for your chance to win a $500 shopping spree, the perfect gift for you. The team at Tomlinson Furniture sends warm wishes for a joyful and cozy Christmas season. Visit Tomlinson Furniture at the corner of Hospital and Walkers Road today.
A $5,000 award is being offered for the return of a missing dog that goes by the name of Spiky Haggis. Spiky is white, cream in color, and is a Pomeranian mix. He is a small dog that has a distinctive scar above his left hip. Spiky went missing mid-November in the area of Selkirk Drive and Bimini Drive. Cayman Vets is asking that if you have seen Spiky, a white Pomeranian mixed dog, to take a picture and send it to 525-5838 or call 525-5838 with information that could lead to his return.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks to the HSA and thanks to Dr. Lundy for joining us. And we're talking about hematology and oncology and chemo and cancer treatments. What is hematology? What is oncology? Is it synonymous? Is there a difference? If it is, what it is? Help us to appreciate.
Right. So hematology really looks at the study of blood and blood disorders. And blood disorders can be non-cancerous as well as cancerous. And so, you have that kind of hematology. And then you have oncology, which was usually reserved for people who have, treating like hard cancer, such as breast, colon, lung, and so on. Right? So that's how, so there's an overlap.
Okay, so there's an overlap.
There's an overlap of the two because both of them treat cancers.
Okay, so they're not synonymous. There's an overlap. You could be an oncologist and not a hematologist.
Correct.
Or you could be one and not. Okay.
Correct. You could be one and not the other.
Yeah.
Or you could be both. It just depends on where you study.
Yeah, and you did remind us that some cancers are curable.
Yes.
And I think that for many of us, that's probably the first time that we heard it, or the first time we heard it that we actually go, is that true? Off the top, what cancers are curable?
Well, when you look at it today, early stage breast cancer is curable. Early stage colon cancer is curable. So you name them. Most of them are curable, right? Nowadays, people, even if it's not absolutely curable, people with, when I was going through medical school, people with multiple myeloma, you could say, hey, this person, they're probably going to die in 3 years. Now people are going on decades because of advances that have been made in general treatment of some of these conditions.
So we're hoping not only to add, as they say, years to their lives,
or quality of life,
but lives to their years. Before we take this next WhatsApp call, curable cancers, you mentioned breast cancer. We used to hear stages 1 through 4.
That's what I said early.
Yeah. Now there's a stage 0. I'm hearing. Is that really true? I've heard physicians share that. Is that new? Is that what is a stage 0?
Okay, so in terms of breast, stage 0 would be what you call, and I'm going to say just the acronym DCIS, which is really kind of a pre-cancerous situation. That's stage 0. Stage 1 is really, there's depending on the size of the tumor, but it hasn't spread. It's just in one small spot. And then stage 2, it has gone a little bit further, a little bit bigger. Stage 3 still further, and then stage 4 is really incurable situation.
Okay. Well, Dr. Lundy, the caller just decided to perhaps do something else, so it has not remained. But in speaking earlier, you were talking about that small room that HSA had. I believe was probably in the HCU. You come in, it's right there, and the room is small, but the team are fantastic. Then you move to the new facility. But are there expansion plans in the making?
Yes. So we are planning that for early in the new year, we'll be expanding and mainly expanding the main patient area where patients receive their various types of treatment. Right. And the reasoning behind it is that we just want people to feel more comfortable and to accommodate more people at the same time.
Okay.
Right. We do recognize that people feel a little bit, if they say, listen, I can't treat you today, sometimes that is just because we just do not have enough bed space, right? And so we want to accommodate as many people as possible at the same time. And so we look into that, and so we're looking at making that possible.
Okay. And certainly I want you to expound as much as possible and give us that hope of what may come. But you reference capacity, and oftentimes because of logistics, sometimes because of just a sheer, sort of scale, some places may not have certain things. In the Cayman context, are there any new either equipment, technologies, protocols that will be introduced?
Well, the good thing about it is that we at HSA, right, use the most up-to-date and cutting-edge medications that you can think of. And approval process is so quick, whether it's through Cynico or through the other insurances, right? They're so quick. And we are very astute about catching up with the changing technology, the change in protocols. And so we follow them very quick, very, very much. And we follow what we call the NCCN, National Cancer, whatever it is, network. They're like the Bible in terms of cancer treatment protocols. And we have to follow them, follow the changes. But not only those, we also make sure that we align with the most things like the American Society of Clinical Oncology, American Society of Hematology. These guys come out with the newest of the newest. And we are proud that we can follow these protocols.
So we access those.
We access these, yes.
Yeah.
And
then
in terms of like diagnostics, diagnostics in general have not really changed significantly, but we also at times have access to molecular tests, right? Most of that is not done on island, but it usually turnaround time is the same as if you were sitting in Miami, So these aid in terms of prognosis and also aim in terms of allowing us to give what we call targeted treatment, meaning you look at bullseye treatment straight to the cancer. And the important thing of giving the targeted treatment is that the side effects are less. It's not a scatter shot. You're really going directly at what you're doing. So the side effects are significantly less. And so patient, again, come back around to the patient. The patient feels much more at home, much more comfortable.
So that then would stimulate medicine as an education student-centric. We've now seen a patient-centric approach. How does that play into the delivery service? Hopefully the treatment, the recovery, but also that quality of life.
Again, I come back to what we spoke about at the beginning, that none of us as physicians or professionals, we know everything. And we have to depend on the patient. We depend on the patient, we understand the patient, and recognize that no two patients are the same. And so we have to cater, whatever we're going to do, we cater around that patient. And so that's the patient-centric idea, right? There are certain things that are common about people, but there are certain things that are unique, and we have to recognize that, respect that about each patient, and then we'll be able to work with that patient or with those patients in terms of applying whatever treatment may be necessary. We have to work with, we can't dictate.
And as you had shared, Dr. Lundy, not only is the physical space been expanded, but we've seen, unfortunately, the subscription, the amount of patients accessing it. In terms of numbers, both from maybe percentage or actual physical, what are we looking at in terms of, annually or at any particular clinic? Because the numbers seemingly are increasing as well in terms of diagnosis, treatment, people who are being tested even.
Yes. Again, I'll just flip a little bit to last year when we had World Cancer Day event. The unfortunate thing that we don't know what the actual numbers are in Ireland. And so, we tend to be guessing. But my impression is that, yes, the cancer burden seemed to be increasing. Right. And I take it, for example, multiple myeloma, right? We see at least one multiple myeloma per month.
It's an increase in that.
So that is higher than when I first started here.
In your professional view, why is that? Because there was a time when
I don't know.
Infrequent. Now it's
I don't know. And that's one other thing people ask.
Okay.
Right. The same. Breast cancers. I've seen more younger people with breast cancer and more breast cancers. It is probably the most frequent cancer that we manage, those two. So it's there. But what are the absolute statistics?
Yeah.
We don't have that yet, and you know.
I guess time is that one thing. So as we take this final break, let me ask this question as we go into the break. In terms of capacity and the physical size, the new center would be able to accommodate at any one time. Is that an increase? And if so, what's the number? Do you know?
So the old space now will be in terms of patients getting infusion treatment. They'll probably 4, and we'll be able to squeeze in 5 people. We will be able to treat at least 8 people at any one time. Now, you know, you don't want to be running a huge ward, you know, because if you're talking about massive expansion, then you run the risk of mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? And so we want to be able to accommodate 8 people comfortably.
And there's an element of titration that has to happen as well, right? And so that sort of, I guess I liken it to the notion of a school that has a manageable class size.
It has to be manageable.
Right? And
that critical value.
Yeah. It's not just economies of scale. This is about that patient-centric care.
You want to be able to respond to each person who is sitting there.
Yeah. All right. Our final break. And when you come back, would you share with us some more and sort of where we started, the capacity, the notion that we may have a perception, it may be unfounded, we may not even appreciate the extent to what we have. But it's something I may ask of you.
Sure.
You never know.
No
We'll
problem.
take that final break, and when we come back, we invite you to join us. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Are you tired of hustling through traffic, trying to tick off your holiday shopping list? Pull into Reflections Hemp and Tobacco, across from Liquor for Less on the waterfront, for pure shopping pleasure. Open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday to Saturday. Whether you're shopping for someone naughty or nice, over the age of 18, you'll find amazing deals during the annual year-end holiday and clearance sale. Check out the newly expanded store and enjoy the sights and savings. You can also get Reflections gift certificates, redeemable at Liquor for Less, Eastern Avenue Rubis, Jose's Rubis, Food for Less, Reflections Clothing Store, and Hemp and Tobacco. This could be the most fun you've ever had before the end of 2024. Must be over 18 to shop at Hemp and Tobacco.
See yourself in Reflections.
Reflections, always driving down prices.
Yes, Reflections.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
December is here, but there's still time for that Miami trip before Christmas. Cayman Airways has added several extra flights from Grand Cayman to Miami, perfect for a weekend getaway and to catch that increased duty-free allowance for Cayman residents. But hurry, word is getting round, so those extra seats not going to last long. Book your Miami seats online at CaymanAirways.com or call them on 949-2311. All aboard Cayman Airways with extra flights to Miami before Christmas.
Christmas just got a little brighter at Rocky's Diamonds. Discover their new collection of stunning gold rings, earrings, and necklaces. On special just in time for the holidays. Looking for something unique? Check out their Cayman Outline necklace or the always popular Grand Cayman necklaces. But hurry, they sell out fast. Don't miss incredible specials on diamond jewelry to make this Christmas unforgettable. Browse their Christmas catalog at rockysdiamonds.com or follow them on Facebook and Instagram for all the latest deals. Visit Rocky's Diamonds at 28th North Church Street, Waterfront Center, and find the perfect gift to light up your holiday.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks to the Health Services Authority for this continuing opportunity over these ensuing years to have these discussions, and to Dr. Lundy, appreciating that just even the utterance of the word cancer used to create this chill in many of us. Thankfully, we're starting to appreciate that our lifestyle can impact it. You reminded us, it's curable. We understand it's not just a slogan, but early detection actually can save lives. But I wanted to ask through you, some of the things that we can look forward to as the country makes continued investment in the physical plant, in the technology and equipment, the resources, and investing in the education of new, sort of entrance to the medical profession, to the continuing training and upskilling of they're already there.
So one of the things, and I'll just use the opportunity to move to World Cancer Day, which is on the 4th of February next year. And so what are we doing? It is an opportunity to really go back to your term, build capacity. It's an opportunity to enlighten people. And it's an opportunity to bring science in edible fashion so that both the public and the scientists can understand. So what we plan to do, one of the events we plan to do is hold a World Cancer Day event that we are going to be having some educational sessions, but educational sessions that John Public or Jane Public can understand. At the same time, bring the science and to demonstrate where we are,
right?
What may be some things that we aspire to, and where some of the things that we are going to be doing starting in the new year. Right. So we want to use that forum as a launch going forward, because as I say, we are expanding and we want to continue to cater to the people, being people-centric.
Okay. And I appreciate that, because the medical jargon aside, physicians talking to physicians, that's fine. But speaking to us as patients, irrespective of our education, our experience, or expertise, just being a patient.
And so that is part of the capacity building, the education, raising awareness of what we have. What are the different things we are dealing with in terms of what are different cancers? Right. And people being allowed to ask questions, and the experts will be there to answer. When you look at things like, everybody talk about AI nowadays, artificial intelligence, it's in everything, even the food you eat.
Yep.
Right? And so it is in medicine. Yeah. And it's one of those things that is creeping into into hematology, oncology. And so we want to bring that to light, for example, to see how, because people are going to ask about it, how do we integrate it? When do we integrate it? And are there benefits? Are there disadvantages?
Right. Well, AI is interesting. I marvel every time my friend Sam says, we talk about AI, maybe we should work on fixing natural stupidity first. But he's a strong intellect, but someone who has a genuine passion to serve the country, its people, and bring his experience and know-how.
And you talk, and even before I came in here, you were talking about being nationalistic, which is very important. And how do the people get to understand what they have? And if you then pivot a little bit, the HSA is Cayman owned, right? It is Cayman, right? And it employs a huge body of Caymanians, right? And I have no apology in saying this is an entity that need to be supported at all angles, right? But we will know what is happening if you tune into the social media that HSA produces, if you look in the newspaper, if you listen to the radio, we'll get to appreciate what are some of these things that are being offered, right? And these are world-class healthcare services that are available, right? Both in my unique field in oncology as well as in the others. The HSA offers all of these.
Right.
They are really top line, and just check out our social media.
Yeah, man. Well, I certainly champion our healthcare and education sectors, and I say it with an apology that those are your pillars in a society. I'm grateful to have these discussions with you and your colleagues, whether they are the actual practitioners, the laboratory technicians, or whether they're in the other supporting cast. It's for me, I don't know, man. Now that's an honor and a privilege, a sense of pride and respect.
Yes.
To know that we have that.
It is
right within our country. But that's a good way for me to ask you, because I see the sort of public policy advocate in you. Is there anything lacking within that you wish, if we could have that, more of that, what would that be? Christmas is coming. I mean, might be your gift, man. Come on up. Don't be shy. Step on up.
Christmas is coming. No, listen. Life has its waves and ebbs. And I think we have to be respectful of each other, be respectful of each other's wishes. In a public sphere, in a public institution, we'll never get everything that we want.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Never, ever, nowhere. Right? And not even in a private world where we're going to get that. So I think it's important to preserve what we have, build. We spoke off here about looking at what we have, looking at what we did last year. How do we improve on it for next year?
Right.
It's the same way. We are now expanding because we have seen what we have, and we have seen where we want to go, and we will look at what kind of better service delivery we want to give to all people, right? And that's where we are investing in this. And so, it is about us looking back, look at what we have, look at our data, and then look to see how we can improve going on. Are we going to make mistakes? Yes. But we can surpass some of these, and we keep building capacity, and in the end, most people will be happy.
That should be the goal, right? As in your oath, first do no harm. Perhaps in ours as individuals, let's ensure that we add value, we do it in that agape love, and we strengthen the bonds, we build lasting bridges. It's a noble endeavor that is neither naive nor negligible. So thank you very much.
Welcome. Happy to be here, and again, happy Christmas to you and your family, and to those in Radio Land. Happy holidays. Take care.
Feliz Navidad, and certainly a very blessed Merry Christmas to all, and to you and all the staff and colleagues over at the Health Services Authority. Thank you for what you do, the continued promise, your willingness to serve, and hopefully as a country we start to appreciate.
Sure.
Let's hold each other to account. Let's accept your responsibility. And thanks to Ms. Susan. Isn't she fantastic?
She's absolutely lovely.
You imagine having to deal with me? You know, I don't know, boy. That should be hazard pay.
She's dying with laughter, so that's good.
Well, I would say she's certainly laughing a lot, boy. It's good to see her smile. But to our listeners, tomorrow's Wednesday, right, Miss Susan? Mr. Art is in the morning. What a good way. Probably the best way. Maybe it should be the only way. Start your morning off with Mr. Art. Christmas is coming and he may have an early gift for you. And I'm not saying he does. Tune in tomorrow to see. And then come back for Talk Today right after the midday news. Have a wonderful, safe, and truly, truly amazing rest of today. Till tomorrow. Be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Hello, this is Susan. As we celebrate this joyous season, I want to extend my warmest wishes to each and every one of you. May your Christmas be filled with the blessings of love, joy, and peace. Let's embrace the true spirit of the holiday by spreading kindness and cherishing the moments with our loved ones. May your holiday season be merry and bright. Let's carry forward the spirit of hope, love,